All right. I like this little thing here, the hidden DL. In Christmas Cop Nights, the GM is never required to reveal the DL to the player before the stat check. This keeps a sense of suspense and tension going through the game. I do that in my D&D games that I DM. DL steps. Oh, here we go. Here's the steps. It is possible to change the DL with a DL step. Okay, here we go. If a rank ability or other role tells you to -1 step to the DL, that means it reduces how difficult the task is. So if the task is rated at a medium DL, but the ability takes -1 DL step, then the DL would move 1 step down to easy. Now you only need a roll 6 to succeed instead of the original 9. So it's a medium. So medium, look up at this chart, is a 9. Which I think this is all pretty high. But I mean, if you're rolling 1 dice and then you're picking 1 card, you know, my base my base number's pretty low, so it's the tricky one. Let's see. Lethal attack. Similarly, maybe I'll go up here first. Sorry. Automatic failure. An unmodified roll 1 is always a failure. Chance of success. If you overroll 6, but you still don't have a high enough result to succeed, even after adding your base stat, there is a chance of success. Roll the d6 one more time, and if you get a 6 in the second roll, you succeed against all odds. You may not spend Holiday Spirit on the second roll. Lethal attack. Similarly, anytime you roll on a 6 in combat, roll again. If the result is a 6, you manage to inflict a lethal attack and deal double the damage. Lethal attacks and lethal weapon. Spending Holiday Spirit. Finally, after rolling, you may choose to spend any number of Holiday Spirit points to add to your overall final score. You may never spend so many points that you would end up at 0 Holiday Spirit, and therefore a complete humbug and a Scrooge. So, some good stuff to know. Combat. This is important. Whenever you encounter a criminal or enemy in the game, you will be required to fight or escape it. Combat is broken up into the following steps. Initiative is very D&D-like. Each player and criminal rolls 1d6. The players add their initiative scores, and the highest criminal, their initiative scores, and the criminal adds their DL. They take their turns in descending order from the highest initiative roll to the lowest. Each actions, so 2 is actions. Each player and enemies may now take 2 actions. 1 main action and 1 minor action. For the rest of the combat, players and enemies continue making turns doing actions in this manner. Main actions: attacking. 2. Providing medical attention. 3. Fleeing the combat. Minor actions: moving, jumping, climbing, taking out a weapon or switching the weapons, opening a door, window. Door, window. Drinking. Drinking, that's another thing you can do. Holiday Spirit, number 3. Holiday Spirit. If the cops are in combat with a criminal, it is by nature fairly anti-Christmas due to the sheer violence of the situation. They must make an intelligence check or lose 1 Holiday Spirit. However, when the players overcome the situation, finish a fight, they each gain 1d6 Holiday Spirit points. When a cop chooses to attack, they do the following. Number 1, choose an enemy to target with the attack. 2, choose a weapon, if any, to use for the attack. 3, make an attack check. And then A, if making a melee, use brawn. B, if making a ranged attack, use speed. Number 4, if the added base stat plus die result equals or exceeds the enemy DL, the attack hits. Apply the weapon damage to the enemy's health. And this is just a page number, I believe. Dying. If your cop decides but the criminal enemy is too difficult or dangerous to face, you can attempt to flee the fight and get away. Make a speed check against the enemy DL, -1 step. If you succeed, you have fled the fight. For now, if you have failed, the enemy gets an immediate free attack against you. Dying. If your cop ever reaches 0 health, you receive 1 final wind to try and come back. Roll 1d6, and on a result of 6, you regain 1 health. Otherwise, they are dead and gone. Harsh. Scrooge. Additionally, if a player ever runs out of holiday spirit, they are considered a humbug and a Scrooge. Worse than that, the cop becomes somewhat mentally unstable, and as the harshness of the holiday season gets to them, all rolls are made at a +1 step. Redemption. The player with 0 holiday spirit also can't get back any normal Christmassy activities such as decorating or singing. They must have a moment where they overcome their vice in some way. They must have a moment. So for an alcoholic cop, maybe they refuse to drink at a crucial moment right before they raid a drug dealer's safe house. That's interesting. Overcoming a vice always requires a stat check of some kind. I can think of a holiday vice or two I have these days. At the end of a game session, cops may attempt to level up. To do this, each player will roll 1d6 plus half their current level rounded down. If the roll exceeds the current level, they level up. When you level up, you gain +1 to base statistics of your choosing. Remember to update secondary stats are affected by this +1 and 1 new rank ability. And I think I'll stop it here.